Well, hello everybody. I wasn't going to come on and even make this video, but I know I have a lot of UK and European followers. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm so connected to the UK now that it's like your family, and I have family over in Europe as well. I feel like it's my second home there. But in relevance to what I want to talk about is Starmer's partner, his female partner. Did you notice how I said female partner? Yeah, there's a reason for that, but okay. We're not going to get into all of his personal business because I don't feel the need to do that. I don't feel the need to expose his sexuality or anyone else's for that matter. But what I'm going to say is that I was getting something with his wife, if they are in fact legally married on paper. I was getting something with her throwing a fit, like losing her cool and just really upset with him. And it would have been within the last 12 to 24 hours, possibly right after Kimmy called him out. Was it in the parliament, in that meeting they had? I don't remember, but I saw her calling him out somewhere. I only watched like 2 minutes of it, and I knew that Kimmy was on top of it. And we talked about this happening with Keir Starmer like last week. But anyways, I am getting this energy, just feeling of, I don't know how to say this without you guys getting upset with me, but I don't sugarcoat, and I am who I am off camera and who I am on camera. I have nothing to prove. What I speak on is, I can't say is factual when it comes to working with spiritual anatomy. I can't say it's factual unless I'm getting things off of, statistics, and I'll tell you that. But his wife, she's terrified. His wife is terrified. And I have to say, in some way, I almost feel bad for Keir Starmer's partner, whether they're living together or not. And I was getting that there's two dwellings, okay? But either way, she's still with him, and she still is trying to support him, regardless of what's going on in their personal life, is what I'm getting. She doesn't want him to screw up any more than what he already has. She has told him, I believe strongly, Key. Does she call him Key? Well, anyway, somebody calls him Key. Step down. Walk away from it. I won't leave you. Whether she will or she wouldn't. I think she probably not, because she could go back to living a normal life. Because I feel like here in the last couple of months, even his household, the people in his household or his family, they're catching slack from where he's not doing his duties as a prime minister. And they're hearing about it, is what I'm getting. And she's hearing about it. And I don't know what the wifey does. And again, this is not factual, but this is what I'm feeling. She is on edge, just like everybody else over in the UK or around the world right now. She's on edge. And she doesn't know, I feel she doesn't know what to do. What she really wants Keir to do is to leave that position, especially after Mandelson. Especially after Mandelson. I just see her really, really just selling in on him, on Keir, in the last 12 to 24 hours. You guys are ahead of the United States, or ahead of me. I'm on the East Coast, so you're ahead of us. She's telling him, I see her in a nightgown. This is interesting. So maybe on this particular day, what I'm picking up, they stayed together. She's with him. And I'm seeing her I mean, she's just pissed. It's like she was asleep. Maybe she got woke up. Maybe I don't know, man. She's just telling him, what the hell is wrong with you? You're not the same man that I was with 10 years ago. Now, I don't know how long they've been together, but that's what's coming through. And I see her telling him to leave the position. And she's also telling him, if there's something you're withholding when it pertains to the Epstein files, I see his better half. I say better half, but I mean, come clean. Come clean. Now, I don't know if she is into religion or she like goes to church, if she's a Christian. I don't know, but it feels to me that she may have her religious, she may be more close to a religious sector versus Keir. She may go to church and he doesn't. I don't know. But she just wants him to be done with this position. She wants Keir Starmer done. She knows he's not doing what he needs to be doing. And she's also fully aware that he's not the one in full power or full control. And this is really, really scaring her. I say scare. I guess you could say fear. Because she knows what hand he's dealing with. And she really does love him, even if they don't stay together or if they're not together full time. His significant partner, other half, she loves him. She does. She worries about his safety. And that makes me wonder if, and I gotta be careful how I word these things, you know. It makes me wonder if, did he receive an anonymous message in some way warning him to shape up a little better because he's only in power because of certain people anyways? So what I'm getting on the other side of this is he would have been better off being pulled out of power legally, because legally he doesn't need to be there. He doesn't have it. I'm telling you, the guy is being controlled like Biden. And you're going to see this get worse and worse and worse. But I think Starmer is aware of this in some way. His partner is. She just wants to be done with all of it. She knows that he's not the one in control. And there's some secrets that she knows that he's confined in her that goes back, I believe, you know, maybe some dark secrets that he could not help to some degree, maybe. Or maybe he goes into detail with her how he met Jimmy Savile. You know, I don't know. The royal family. He knows a lot of things. And he's shared a lot of intimate conversations with his wife. And it's to my belief that she's emotionally not doing well with what's going on around the world, and the fact that her partner is supposedly the Prime Minister of the UK, and he's not able to perform his duties the way even she feels fit or sees fit. And she knows that some of this is really out of his control and that he'd be better off being humiliated and just step down. It almost feels like a threat in some way, some type of some information, or somebody has gotten word back to them, to her or him or both. It's a pre-warning to go along with the narrative or else. And they know that Keir Starmer is a strong, well, he's not strong, but he's a huge asset. He knows too much. He knows too much. And this feels to be the deep swamp. And I believe that they really don't want him to have any relationship with 47 here in the United States whatsoever. And don't get me wrong, 47 is doing all kinds of things I can't wrap my head around. But I've always said why Trump is here, is to dismantle. And it's not going to be pretty what he does. And I don't agree with it. What do you do? When someone's put here to disrupt shit, they tear it down. And that might bring in war and death, famine in the process, economic problems. But it's happening. And I believe Starmer's in his position for the future government to learn, for the future governments to learn from the mistakes that they are seeing now. And I am picking up a new type of, is it cabinet, that's being created as we speak. Feels to be more towards reform versus the Greens, or maybe it's between conservative and reform. Maybe that's what I'm seeing. But I'm picking up a new group that's forming over there. And there's like one or two people working at it, but they have to fill the spaces. And I was just wondering, I don't know, if that guy Roberts, you guys mentioned Robert Lowe or Rupert or somebody, and then Kimmy, right? Because I told you Kimmy is going to be a speaker for the people of the UK. She's a truth teller. That's what she is put there to do, is to speak to the truth. And she's a huge threat to the enemy. A lot of people think that the deep swamp started here in the United States of America, but it did not. All of that, Freemason, Illuminati, it's all in one. It's all cased into one thing. All that stuff, the deep, started in Europe and moved into UK and then the United States. But I'm not here to debate that. That's not something I'm here to talk about. I think that you're going to hear something. There could be a scandal. It won't be a huge love affair or anything like that. I think it might be, you might see those two in public. I don't know if they go out in public. There could be some distance between the two of them. She's going to give him the cold shoulder because it's not that she doesn't love him any less, but they're not sharing the same dwellings like a happy couple does. And partly that's him himself. Maybe he prefers to be alone. I don't know. He's going through all this stuff. Maybe he just doesn't want to have his partner there all the time, which is kind of weird. I think I know what's going on with that. Yeah, it's okay. None of my business. But either way, you can be in love with someone of the same sex or the opposite sex. It doesn't really matter to me. And I do believe that there's love in that relationship, but it is very much strained. I believe that this is what happened with Justin Trudeau and his wife in Canada. And she just left. They had been apart for some time, and they were using separate dwellings where they had kids, three or four children. But at the end of the day, she didn't go back to him. And this could happen with Keir. She may say, you know what, just stay at your dwelling. I'm done. We're getting threats, these little subliminal messages. I wish people wouldn't send out subliminal messages. Just say what the fuck you have to say. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have the fancy words for it, but yeah. So you may see something in the UK, not necessarily tabloid material, but just where they're distanced, like they're not close, They're not holding hands, or you can just look at her facial expressions and see that she's just cold to it all. She's numb. She's becoming numb. He already is. Keir already is. And I'm not here taking up with the guy because he's not a good person. He needs to be gone. But he needs to be removed the right way. I don't want to see anything happen to him or any other leader for that matter. He needs to go the right way. He needs to step down. And the problem with that, guys, is if he steps down, I am afraid somebody else in the Labour Party would step in. But you know what's weird? When I say that, because that's what would happen here in the United States, right? You'd have most likely J.D. Vance. But I don't see anyone in the Labour Party that could replace him. I'm sure there is somebody there, right? I don't know. It just feels like the chair's empty. And maybe that's why he's still in power as well. There's no one to replace him, Keir Starmer. But You know, his life is, he's headed down a roller coaster, and it's just started for him. And I know he's being kept in there by darker forces. Not to get into conspiracy, because I'm not into that, but you know, real people with dark intentions. And there is dark energies that are, you know, there as well. And I don't see King Charles taking his place. Somebody said that. No, I don't see that. No. King Charles has his own hands tied, trying to keep the monarchy together. And it's all falling down on William. And you're going to see, well, I guess we're not going to see it. I believe Prince William is going to tell his dad to abdicate and give it to him, give him the crown, so he can do what he needs to do, because he sees their monarchy is fizzling out. Yeah. All right, guys, I was just on here. I wanted to share that because it's just, I don't usually get things on partners, but there's a huge strain in their relationship. And there's also a huge strain in Emmanuel Macron and Bridget's as well. And I think when Emmanuel is out of power, those two will be no more as well, allegedly.